Here in Malawi, there are tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands across the country of orphans. They were left orphaned when their parents died, many of them of HIV/AIDS. And so you have children, and these children who are 12, 13, 14, 15 years old are left raising their little siblings. And so babies, and you'll find little children carrying their baby sisters or brothers around. And you find these teenagers who now are suddenly put in the role of having to be caregiver for 3, 4, 5, 6, sometimes 7 siblings. And so really paralyzed by their situations, often unable to care for themselves. And so what ZOE has done is ZOE has said, instead of taking these children and putting them in an orphanage, what we need to do is empower them and help them to be able to raise these families and to be able to live out their faith and to love their siblings and to have jobs. And so ZOE is focused on training, finding the head of that household, these children 14 years and up, finding the head of the household, training and empowering them in a 3-year training program. And during that time, they're given job skills. They learn about hygiene and about nutrition. They learn about how to avoid HIV/AIDS and reproductive health. And then from that, they're taught a job skill. And then these young people not only have their job to care for their families, but they work together as a community. And so each one of these 31 groups, there are 31 ZOE groups ministering to 2,641 children. Each one of these groups comes together, the heads of the household. They encourage one another, they care for one another, they bless one another, they minister to one another. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to introduce you to some of the people who are beneficiaries of the ZOE ministry. And I think you'll agree with me, I was blown away by what I saw. So this is Jelena. She's 14 years old. She has 3 siblings that she's caring for. She's the head of the household. They live together, these 4. She and her siblings raise the crops on this, I think it's about an acre. And with the proceeds from selling their crops, and they've done actually pretty well the last couple of years, they are able to buy animals, livestock, and to support themselves. Amazing. This young man has opened a cinema, and so he's been trained in how to do this. And so the children who come to the cinema pay 20 cents a ticket. It's not just the kids, the villagers, 20 cents a ticket. And I want you to see the equipment that he shows these things on. He packs it out, 30 people can fit in here at a time. And there's the screen he's got. It's a 13-inch television, and he runs this off of solar power. And when he's not showing films, he's recharging batteries. These 2 young women are trained as tailors, and they're in their 3rd year in the program, and so they're doing quite well for themselves. And they're nestled in the midst of a really busy little shopping area in a village. And again, they're about to graduate from the program. They're doing amazing, and they're supporting their families and caring for them. This man, 17 years old, he has several siblings, again orphaned, and the 2 young men you're going to see in this image with him, in this video with him, are 1st-year students that he's mentoring now. And he's making enough in doing this to be able to have bought some goats and some pigs, I believe, and he's caring for his siblings. There you see the 1st-year students he's mentoring around. This young woman, also 17 years old, is raising her siblings. She's the head of the household. Her dream was to open up a cafe, and she sells about 180 scones a day, and people come to her for hot tea. And with the proceeds, she hopes to build a bigger house for her siblings. She wants to help other children. And she bought herself a bicycle, which was a really big deal, so that she could go back and forth to market. I'd remind you what Jesus said. Jesus said, "Suffer the little children and forbid them not to come unto me, for of such is the kingdom of God." And repeatedly in the Gospels, he shows his concern for little children. And that's what you're expressing in our support for the ZOE ministry.